Hey, I'm Silvio Perez. I'm the founder of AdConversion.com, and in this video, I want to talk about if you should invest in LinkedIn Spotlight ads. Are they worth it? We're going to cover the pros and cons, what are Spotlight ads, and everything you need to know to be able to make an informed decision. So let's start with the basics. What are LinkedIn Spotlight ads? So I'm here in the LinkedIn Ads Manager, and I have a drafted LinkedIn ads Spotlight ads here for you to see. So simply put, the LinkedIn Spotlight ads look like this. They are a dynamic ad type, meaning the profile image of the person will change depending on who sees it. And you can do some pretty clever things with Spotlight ads. For example, you can see here, I added a custom image here of me with heart eyes emoji instead of my face. So by default, you'll have like a company logo here and then the person. So there's different ways you can spruce up Spotlight ads to be able to make it more effective and resonate and stand out. So for us here at AdConversion, we teach B2B marketers how to scale paid ads with free courses taught by the world's best practitioners. So if you want to learn ads for B2B, we are definitely the place to go. So you can see here how I'm trying to speak to our ICP and I'm saying learn how with free courses taught by the best. And it kind of plays into the ad description. So this is the ad description here on the top. And then this is the actual ad headline. You can also add dynamic parameters as well into Spotlight ads. So for example, if I do first name, you can also do this and it'll automatically pull in the person's name, which is pretty cool. So you've got here Jane. I believe all of the standard parameters work for Spotlight ads, just like it would for a conversation ad. So you can see here I put company name and it would automatically pull in the company name as well. So you get to leverage those parameters as well with your combo or your Spotlight ad copy, which is pretty cool. So all in all, this is what a Spotlight ad looks like. I'm sure you've seen them. So when you're actually on LinkedIn, where you'll typically see Spotlight ads is when you're on your LinkedIn feed, you'll see them down here on the bottom right. And you can use Spotlight ads in different ways. So you can see in this case, they're using it to show job openings. You can do it in my case to drive conversion. You can use it to grow your company page. A lot of different use cases on how you can actually use Spotlight ads. So to dive more into this topic, I actually put together a whole article on LinkedIn Spotlight ads on the adconversion.com site, which I'll link in the resources below. And I want to kind of just piggyback off this article as a reference as we go through this video. So we kind of talked about LinkedIn Spotlight ads. Character-wise, you don't have a lot of opportunity, 50 character headlines, 25 characters for your company name, and then you can put in an image that is 300 by 250. So there's not much you need from a creative perspective, right? It's only this 300 by 250 image. I do not recommend adding the background image because if you do, it's going to significantly reduce your ability to really leverage the format. So when you do that, it gets rid of the person's profile image. And in my opinion, the advantage of Spotlight ads is the personalization. So leveraging the parameters in addition to the person's image is really where you can drive more attention and get a click. Now, when it comes to Spotlight ads, these are the 4 primary reasons to consider investing in this format. Reason number 1 is 74% lower cost per 1,000 impressions. So we analyzed $1.7 million in spend by ad types for our agency where we run ads for top B2B SaaS companies. And we found an average CPM of $5.23, which is 74% lower than single image ads. So just to kind of show up the visual here, you can see this is the average CPM by ad type that we found after studying our data set. And no surprise, conversation ads have the greatest one, but you can see Spotlight ads is all the way at the bottom here. It is the lowest in comparison with these other ad types. So $5.23 for 1,000 impressions. That is ridiculously cheap. And that is the primary reason to even consider running Spotlight ads in the first place is the ability to buy all these impressions for a really low cost. And you can compare that with single image ads at $20.72. So if you're looking for a really low cost ad format to be able to drive a lot of impressions and visibility and stay in front of your audiences, that's where I think Spotlight ads can actually be helpful. Not that it'll be a game changer, but it's just an additional impression at a really cheap cost. The second advantage of using Spotlight ads is increased ad recall. Because you're getting all those impressions for such a cheap cost, it's really easy to rack up a large frequency and it be okay given the fact that you're going to have so many of these impressions at a low cost. and spotlight ads are only placed on these very specific placements. So having frequencies of 10, 15, 20 isn't as detrimental to your brand as when you have a frequency of 15, 10, 20 with a video or an image or something like that, because it's more prominent and in the user's feed. Spotlight ads, for the most part, kind of go unnoticed, which allows you to drive all these impressions, just kind of stay top of mind in the back of someone's head for a really low cost. Now, moving on, the third reason to invest in spotlight ads is creative effort. It's really low creative effort, right? So you only need a 300 by 250 banner. And assuming if you were using your company logo, then you don't need anything and it's just text. In my case, I added this custom image that I created on Canva with a 300 by 250 dimension really easily to be able to stand out and be more unique in comparison to everyone else. But it's super easy, right? It's not like an image ad that you need, 1200 by 1200 or 1200 by 1628 or something like a video ad or something like that. So it's a really cheap, easy place to get an additional touch point. All right, so now let's talk about some reasons you should not invest in LinkedIn Spotlight ads. So the primary reason is the cost per click price. So you're gonna get a lot of impressions really cheaply, but when someone does finally decide to click on your Spotlight ad, you are gonna pay a pretty price for it. So when you look at the average CPC by ad type, we've got here Spotlight ads in number one with $7.93 on average in terms of cost per click in comparison with all these other ad types. So, don't let this scare you from Spotlight ads. The average click-through rate on Spotlight ads is pretty abysmal, like less than 0.5%. It's really, really, really low. So don't think that you're gonna get a lot of clicks from Spotlight ads. It's kind of not the point. It's like you can drive clicks from Spotlight ads, which is great, but the real reason you even do Spotlight ads is for additional impressions. And again, it's just additional impressions, additional mind share at a really, really low cost. But just know that when you do get the click, you're only charged per click. And when you do pay per click, you are gonna pay a hefty price for it. So you can see the average here. All right, second reason you should invest in Spotlight ads, or you shouldn't invest in Spotlight ads, is if you wanna generate the most conversions. So like I mentioned, Spotlight ads have really bad engagement rates. It's really, really low, given a multitude of factors. Number one is the limited availability of placements, right? They only render in very specific spots. Number two is the size of the placement. Look how small this grid is in comparison to a image ad here from Salesforce. Like if we just take a look at just in terms of real estate that the image ad from Salesforce takes versus the Spotlight ad, it's dramatically different, right? In addition to that, it's a very limited placement as well in the sense of it can only render one company at a time in this placement, right? Versus here, there can render many different companies here at a time, right? So here's another ad from Notion as an example. So these multitude of factors goes into Spotlight ads having a really low engagement rate. Okay, moving on. If you're trying to drive the most traffic to your website, do not consider Spotlight ads. Like I mentioned, it's not what it's good at, right? Spotlight ads is good at getting a lot of impressions really cost effectively. It's not good at driving a lot of traffic. So if that's your primary aim, I definitely wouldn't consider Spotlight ads. And then finally, I would not consider investing in Spotlight ads if you're not already investing in other ad types. So Spotlight ads is a supplementary ad type. It's something that should go into your LinkedIn ads mix, not as a primary source, but to just kind of complement the other big three, right? So if you're not already doing image ads or video ads or conversation ads, I would start there and then add Spotlight ads in the future, especially if you want to just drive additional impressions for a really low cost, because it can allow you to do that for really cheaply. Now, 3 strategies worth testing with Spotlight ads if you are considering using it. Number 1, and the most effective use in my personal opinion and experience, is remarketing. The combination of being able to use Spotlight ads for that really low cost CPM around $5.28 makes it really powerful to stay in front of a very specific audience. So who better than people who already engage with you? So they've been to your website, they've been to your company page, they've been to past events you've hosted, they're existing customers, they're in your email list, you name it. You can create a remarketing list of these individuals, And I actually created a whole video on how to build a multi-channel retargeting strategy. I'll link it here for you. But basically you can build this audience and then you can use spotlight ads to just stay in front of these individuals. And if they do happen to click through your spotlight ads, well, hey, guess what? Somebody's engaged with you before, so you're willing to pay that $7 click on the high end, assuming it's the average. Second reason to consider running spotlight ads in terms of a strategy to test is company page growth. So you could use LinkedIn spotlight ads to grow your LinkedIn company page. So instead of saying, learn more, go to my website, whatever the case might be, is you can drive these individuals to your LinkedIn company page to try to drive more followers, more subscriber growth. This could be another cool use case for you in terms of strategies to test with LinkedIn spotlight ads. And then finally is job recruitment. So LinkedIn spotlight ads are really flexible in terms of the different bidding strategies available, and they are available as an ad type if you use the job applicants type in terms of the campaign objective. So if you're using job applicants and you need to drive opportunities to your different job posts on LinkedIn, you can use spotlight ads. And the cool thing with using spotlight ads for job recruitment is, given the fact that you're able to create that personalization, right, and dynamically pull in the person's profile image, you can create some cool spotlight ads to try to create a more personalized message to that person specifically who might be looking for a role that you're hiring for. So all in all, should you use LinkedIn spotlight ads? It really depends on you. Like I mentioned, don't consider using this ad type if you're not already using all the other big three. If you're expecting LinkedIn spotlight ads to come in and just drive, $1 million in pipeline, it really doesn't work that way. It's not that strong of an ad type to be able to do that. I would only ever consider running it really in remarketing and after like some very specific target account lists, or if I wanted to do job recruitment and try to drive more awareness to my job posting. Otherwise, you're better off with the other ad types. But I hope this was helpful. It's definitely a unique ad type that most people don't consider. And if you do meet these qualifications and you're considering it and you want to get thousands of impressions for a fraction of a cost, then I think it's definitely worthwhile. I hope this video was valuable. If you want to learn more about LinkedIn ads, then check out the videos that we have here in this playlist around LinkedIn. And if you want to learn more about this article that I was going through, I will link it in the description box down below, where you can learn more about spotlight ads. And if you're interested in learning how to scale B2B advertising campaigns, then definitely check us out at AdConversion.com. We've got courses on different topics from great practitioners teaching you how to run successful ads for B2B. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.